Hi, Larissa. Welcome to Manuel Trujillo Durán Film Festival, the oldest festival in Venezuela. We are so happy to have you here. And it is very special for me because this is a genre movie.
Yes.
So, so it's not very usual to have a genre movie who is immediately you connect with it. So I would like you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit more about your movie.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be a part of your festival, and I'm really excited to show this film in other countries and around the world. And I mean, I think that's a really fun thing about creating a short film is being able to reach out and share it with other people and other communities and other cultures. And what's interesting about this film, I think the horror genre, but also somewhat supernatural, it's not necessarily a genre that everybody gravitates toward. Not everybody likes horror. I knew already that it would immediately be rejected from some festivals just based on the content. But I thought it was a really, this story kind of evolved into a horror. It didn't start as a horror. It was a little bit more grounded in reality. And then it became one of those, well, how far can we push this story? And it started from a story that I heard from my brother, and one of my brother's friends had experienced a really scary Halloween where she was going to a party, and on her way to the party, she encountered other trick-or-treaters, but then she realized they were really holding real weapons and a real gun, a real bat, and she was all alone. And so that was a positive outcome. Nothing happened to her, but she experienced this moment of fear. And it was this fusion of Halloween, which is a festive, fun celebration, but it's also rooted in darkness and Hell's Gates opening up and spirits and ghosts walking the world, and us disguising ourselves as ghosts and demons to throw off the other demons, right? So it's this, I think it's what really excited me about this, aside from me personally loving Halloween, is it's a celebration where we all are performing and taking on these other personalities, and we all dress up, and it's about fear, and it's about confronting one's fears. And so what started as a real story turned into this supernatural kind of horror. But
we cannot say what's the trigger point, because that's what the audience has to go to the theater or has to connect with Manuel Trujillo Durán so they can see what's going to happen at the end, because it's a really good surprise. And I think the audience is going to be very pleased seeing it. So you already said how you made the story, I mean, how the inspiration of the story came from. So how long it took you from the script to the finish line of the short film to have it done?
Well, it's interesting because I'd been talking about wanting to do this movie for many years, but once I finally sat down and wrote the script, it was quite fast because I had been working on a TV show. The TV show wrapped, so I had a lot of colleagues who were available to work, and we literally turned around and shot it within a month. A lot of the actors, the story unfolds. Like we shot it within a month. I used a lot of my family, like Lily.
Oh, nice. The party is your family?
Yeah. The party, my brother's an actor, his girlfriend, my cousin, and everybody, basically calling in favors from friends to perform. And once it was in hand, I edited in a couple months, but then I needed to find someone who could do VFX in an affordable way. So it sat there for almost 2 years untouched, which was tough because I knew I was close to finishing and needed to find some incredible talent to do the VFX, and also I wanted to,
which are great, by the way.
oh, thank you, and original score. So I ended up finding a friend to do some original composition for it, and the score and the VFX were really what brought it together at the end. But
yeah,
it took some
time. It gives you a package. It packaged very well. So that VFX was a challenge to you? Do you used to do VFX in your movies, or it was a new path you went on it?
Oh, for me, I did not do the VFX. I found a VFX artist.
I know, but you have to supervise it, and you have to say, this is what I want, that is what I want, do not want in the movie.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
Well, for me, I had been exposed to that because as an assistant editor, I was working on a Marvel TV show called The Runaways.
Okay. Oh, okay. You have a good experience with effects. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic VFX artists. And of course, you know, every shot costs so much money. It's like one VFX shot would be the whole budget of my film, and I couldn't afford that. So the trick for me was finding someone who could do really fun VFX. And I ended up working with the VFX producer from that TV show. Oh, so cool. He's connected and knew.
So it was like a family film at the end of the day. Good.
Well, I know. I mean, I think for me, working in the industry, I really needed that. Like I needed that space to be able to communicate with my colleagues and screen it for them and get their feedback and notes. And during those 2 years, I really did take advantage of screening it and making revisions and tightening it. And I think it went from like a 9-minute film down to a 6-minute film. And
wow. Wow.
I think the VFX really just were that final touch that it was calling for. And
being you an editor, was it easy for you to final edit in the movie?
You know, it's interesting because I think it's best to work for directors to work with other editors. And I would have done that if I wasn't at a point in my career where I wanted the credit and the experience of cutting it, and to push myself and to be able to work in horror, comedy horror. So that's why I did it, but I think it is advisable for directors to find other editors. And going forward, if I direct in the future, which I hope to do, I will definitely work with other editors, you know.
Yeah.
But as an editor director, that's why I needed to go through revisions and show it to other people and get other people's insight and feedback to have a dialogue, because okay. I think that dialogue is what really improves and elevates the quality of your project.
Yeah, sure.
Open to hearing other people's ideas. And you'd be amazed, like at one point, I don't know how much I want to reveal or you'd like me to reveal.
It's up to you. I think we shouldn't reveal the end because it's a very...
I won't reveal the end, but at one point, the creature throws one of the guys onto a tree. And when we shot it, there was no tree limb. There was no tree limb protruding through the body. And that was a suggestion. It was a note. One of my friends said, why don't you make it really hardcore and have the tree limb coming through the body and make it even more, you know, gruesome and
and it's a touch.
And it worked. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's do this. It's like a 3D VFX, and it definitely is not easy to accomplish. How can we make it feel or look real, but also embrace the campiness of the genre and the bloodiness of it all? So like, I think for me, like getting to the final product was all about a collaborative team effort. And I was really, really lucky and blessed to work with incredibly talented people. And I think as a director, it's all about the team you bring together and how to speak with people about that, and how to critique their work, and in a positive way.
Of course.
because you're begging and borrowing and not necessarily paying them what they normally would make. and because it's a short film and you're never going to make any money and everybody's doing this for fun and for the experience. So yeah, I think I was very lucky and grateful to have worked with awesome, talented people.
Great. I hope you have so many more experience to come. Oh,
Thank
and what was the biggest challenge you think you faced during the process of making the movie, probably at the beginning and then shooting or post-production along the way?
It's interesting because I think every step there were problems and challenges. I think filmmaking is like a problem-solving process.
You're right.
How do you get there, right?
Yeah.
And so, especially with a limited budget, it was a night shoot, and I had stunts and needed to find a friend. Thankfully, was a stunt coordinator who was able to come in with stunt pads and help us do these stunts safely. So I didn't pick an easy, like.
No, you did not. That's for sure. Why make it easy if you can make it complicated?
Do stunts, let's do special effects. That literally, we had an amazing makeup artist doing the blood and a mask, a full face mask. So that was really hard for the actress to go through 2 hours of putting on a mask. Makeup, special effects.
But they are very, very, very good.
Oh,
so far, what would you say you learned in the process?
It's a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do this alone. You can, but it's not going to be as exciting or as fun to work alone. So get out of your bubble, talk to your friends, make a movie with your entire class, and like it's going to be 10 times better. Because I really did work with so many people on this film, and it was worth it. It was worth the effort. Like, I personally feel like I improved my skill set, and it was educational. I was learning at every point. Like on the set, it was like every 2 minutes I felt like I learned something new. So doing it, I think, is what matters most, is getting into a position where you're doing it, whether you have a terrible camera and no crew and you're just doing it with your family, or whatever, like whatever you need to do to actually get in there and create a scenario that's pushing your skills. Yeah. And so it was worth it, and do it with friends, you know.
That's great. So what is next for you? What is in the pocket for you, the next movie, the next project you are working on it?
Well, right now, I'm really excited to say that I got an agent for editing.
Wow.
And so
congrats.
Thank you. That was a huge miracle. and after getting an agent, she introduced me to a really cool TV showrunner named Julie Plec, who you might know from her TV shows, Vampire Diaries, the original Legacies. So now I am editing her newest TV show called Vampire Academy.
Wow, great.
Yeah, it's Universal TV. It's going to stream on Peacock, and I love it because it's genre, and there's fight scenes and action, and
well, it seems like you're going to be an expert in the horror kind of slash drama and you know, comedy kind of new mix of genre here, no?
I'm learning, and you know, I know I have a lot to grow still, but I think for me it's just such an honor to be able to work with people who've been doing it so professionally for the last 10 years. So that's really exciting for me, and I hope to make another short film or two and keep
more, and the feature for sure. We'll be waiting for it. We'll be waiting for you for sure. You are already part of the community of Manuel Trujillo Durán Film Festival, and I invite you to welcome people to see your movie and to tell us how we can follow you in Instagram, or how to follow the the short film, if you have a web page for it.
Yeah, that would be great. I do have a website. That's another thing that's new for me. It's my name, larissajames.com. So you can find me that way. And my email is larissa@larissajames.com. If any of you students want to reach out and email me, I'll do my best to write back, and we can Zoom and talk. And if you have any questions, I love, trying to teach and share whatever knowledge that I have with others. So
I have some friends that are actually into horror movies, so I'm gonna let them know that you are available, that you like to connect with other people, because I'm very sure you're gonna have a good time together. Thank you so much, Larissa. It was an honor, a pleasure to have you here. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.